This is the October 20th meeting of the Berlin Library Trustees. As a preliminary matter, please note this meeting is being recorded and that some attendees are participating by video conference. Accordingly, please be aware that other folks may be able to see you. Take care not to screen share your computer. Anything that you broadcast may be captured by the recording. This is Lynette Wheeler, Chair of the Library Trustees. Permit me to confirm that all members and persons anticipated on the agenda are present and can hear me prior to calling the meeting to order. Members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Linda Yates.
Here.
Staff, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Bob Hodge.
Here.
All right. There's a quorum of trustees present. I call this meeting to order at 5:34 p.m. on October 20th. This open meeting of the Library Trustees is being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 12, 2020, due to the state of emergency in the Commonwealth due to the outbreak of the COVID-19 virus. Specific information and general guidelines for remote participation by members of the public and/or parties with a right and/or requirement to attend this meeting can be found on the Town of Berlin website at townofberlin.com. In order to mitigate the transmission of the COVID-19 virus, we have been advised and directed by the Commonwealth to suspend public gatherings, and as such, the governor's order suspends the requirement of open meeting law to have meetings in a publicly accessible physical location. Further, all members of the public bodies are allowed and encouraged to participate remotely. The order allows public bodies to meet entirely remotely, provided that the reasonable public access is afforded so the public can follow along with deliberations of the meeting. While no in-person attendance of members of the public is permitted, every effort will be made to ensure the public can adequately access the proceedings in real time via technological means. In the event that we are unable to do so, despite best efforts, we will post on the town's website an audio or video recording, transcript, or other comprehensive recording of the proceedings as soon as possible after the meeting. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. The standard public comment portion of this meeting will accommodate limited public comment. For this meeting, the library trustees are convening using the Zoom platform as posted in the agenda. The public is encouraged to follow along during the meeting using the posted agenda unless I note otherwise. Supporting materials that are available this evening to the members of the library trustees can be made available to the public by request. Meeting business ground rules. We are now turning to the first item on the agenda. Before we do so, permit me to cover some ground rules for effective and clear conduct of our business and to ensure accurate meeting minutes. I will introduce each speaker on the agenda. After they conclude their remarks, I will invite each board member by name to provide any comment, questions, or motions. Please hold until your name is called. Please remember to mute your phone or computer when you're not speaking. Please remember to speak clearly in a way that helps generate accurate minutes. For any response, please wait until I yield the floor to you and state your name before speaking. If members wish to engage in conversation with each other, please do so through me, taking care to identify yourself. To the extent that our technical capability allows, public comment will be permitted during the public comment portion of the agenda. Attendants, phones, and other devices will be muted unless they raise their hand and are recognized by me to speak. I ask each member of the public who wishes to speak to identify their name, and I will afford each speaker time to ask a question or make a brief comment. Finally, each vote in this meeting will be conducted by roll call vote.
You made it.
Barely. All right. So first on the agenda is the previous meeting minutes. I'm just scanning this real quick. I don't think there's anything. Meeting schedule. 5:30. Okay. So Bob, you have nothing for no questions, comments for the
I don't.
September 8th minutes. Okay. I move to approve the minutes as submitted for September 8th.
I, Linda Yates, second the motion.
All right. Roll call vote to approve. I, Lynette Wheeler, approve. Linda Yates.
Yes, I approve.
All right. Moving on to the September 14th minutes. Do you have anything to say about the September 14th minutes, Bob?
No.
Okay. I have moved to approve the September 14th minutes as submitted.
I, Linda Yates, second the motion.
All right. A roll call vote. I, Lynette Wheeler, approve it. Linda Yates?
I approve.
Okay. We're moving to the September 17th minutes. Bob, anything on those?
No.
All right, I'm good too. So I move to approve the September 17th minutes as submitted.
I, Linda Yates, second the motion.
A roll call vote to approve the minutes as submitted. Lynette Wheeler, I approve. Linda Yates?
I approve.
Excellent. All right. So now the director's report. Hand it off to you, Bob.
All right. I assume you had a chance to have a look at it.
Yep.
I did over the last week. There are a few other items I'd like to mention.
Okay.
Or elaborate on a few things. The Friends of the Library, who have only been able to meet one time since COVID back in March, are going to meet again on November 4th. They meet on Wednesdays at 11 o'clock. And not 100% sure, but I think the meeting will be outside at the library.
Okay.
Okay, just so you're aware, if you can make it, that's fine. But I will let you know what they speak about. They are planning a fundraising event that they do around the holidays, which is they make holiday baskets. So they take some planning that goes into it, but it's one of their top fundraisers. So we had a department head meeting last Tuesday, the 13th. And I am aware now that they've kind of moved things up in the budget process. So we're only a few months into FY21, but we're working on budget for FY22. And we didn't get the budget package yet, which is something that June prepares with all the deadlines for the various things. And but anyway, that's going to be due at the end of November. So hopefully I'll know a little bit more when we meet next in November. I don't think there'll be too many changes to the process, but we may be more aware of how the state budget's going to be at that time. So I copied you folks on the on some emails with the building inspector.
Yes.
Yeah. So when they hired Richard, I guess it was about a year ago, you know, I became aware that I had asked him, has the library been inspected? Because do you have records?
Right.
Because that's part of their position is to, the building inspector inspects town buildings and they do it annually. So since I wasn't aware of the library being inspected, I thought I would inquire. So he did come on Monday with the fire marshal, or fire department personnel, and also Dave Smith from Highway. Exactly.
So I'm sorry. So just for the minutes, he came on Monday with who?
With some members of the fire department.
Okay.
Litchwell.
I can just say members of the fire department,
Members
right?
of the fire department.
Fine.
Okay.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be super.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And David Smith, who's the highway department head, and de facto facilities management. So exactly what they do in the building inspection, I really don't know. I answered some questions for them. I gave them a tour. We spoke about the last inspection that was done in 2011. I just kind of tried to fill in Richard, the building inspector, on, you know, how old the building is and some of the hope for plans that we have to renovate and maintain the building. So I'm assuming that there'll be some kind of report that he'll do. I'll give us a report card or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, so anyway, that was accomplished.
Good.
The children's, I mentioned that Sarah is working with the Girl Scouts
Yep.
on this renovation. They raised quite a bit of money. They've been doing everything on their own, and
They have a bucket up here at the farm.
yeah, they actually let us know that they've raised the money that they needed, and they're no longer collecting donations. So I guess if you have a bucket up there, you can
I'll bring it down.
you can call it off. Yeah.
Okay.
And so, you know,
That's great.
yeah, it is great. They're very enthusiastic about it. There's three scouts that are doing it with the scout leader, and I've been informed of some of the things they intend to do. I'm not sure 100%. They are getting us a new table. So that little table that we have sat at for meetings.
Yeah.
Linda hasn't had the pleasure yet, but they're like.
Well,
little...
I have with the friends.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay, so you know how the seats are kind of made for.
I like our little table.
I didn't mind our little table, but it'll be kind of nice to have a grown-up table, and it'll have a leaf in it, so you can make it slightly larger. Anyway, they've already reported that they've purchased a table. They sent us information about the table that they did want to purchase. So that's moving along. As far as the children's programs, the police chief was here on Monday doing story time outside. That went rather well. And we have a program this Saturday with Ed the Wizard, magician, and he'll be here at the library outside, weather permitting. And if not, we have plans to do it at the 1870 upstairs.
Okay.
And when is that going to be?
That is this Saturday, the 24th.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just a note on that. Moving forward, I would suggest maybe letting people know. Like, I know it said you had to make a reservation, that space is limited, but I think some people would like to know what the capacity is, because some people are okay with 10 people,
right?
But they're not okay with 25.
Yes.
Some people are okay with 25, but they're not okay with 50.
So yeah.
I mean, even if they say, the capacity is 25, which is what the state allows. If they word it that way, it's not so bad. But I did have one person ask me about that.
Okay.
They know I'm a trustee, so they come to the farm and they ask me.
Yeah.
Well, they're like, how did you have to reserve your spot? How many people do you think they can have? And I'm like, I have no idea.
Yeah. Well,
and I told them that,
we're hoping that outside is going to work out okay. But that's a good question. So I have been in touch with Lisa, who is the 1870, running the 1870 now.
Yeah, she came up here too and introduced herself.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. She's actually putting on her own programs on November 7th at the 1870. She decided that since nobody was booking anything, she was going to put one on and see how it went. So
the magician, Bob, will be weather permitting outside. And if it's raining, what are you going to do?
We'll be at the 1870 upstairs.
At the 1870, okay.
Upstairs.
Yeah, upstairs just naturally because it's the larger space.
Right.
Can spread out more. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
What else? Did you have any questions about anything on my report?
I don't.
I did talk a little bit about reopening the building. We're not obviously in a hurry to reopen the building. Some of our neighbors have reopened by appointment. Each library in our network seems to be doing things slightly differently.
It looked like Shrewsbury was open by appointment,
by appointments, yeah.
That place is huge, so that scares me a little.
Yeah, and I think Hudson is pretty big too, compared to us, obviously. Everybody's pretty big, but they were only allowing 10 people in. So we would, I just wanted to mention that in my report. We have had inquiries from patrons
Yeah.
kind of myself, and others as well, just looking at how things are going with the schools.
Yeah, it's hard, I think, for people. I did have a patron who I pet sit for him, email me and ask about requesting a book. And I told him all the ways you could do it. I told him he could call you, email you, or use
yes.
the app on his phone.
I believe that person has been in touch.
Yes, he told me he did email you.
He did, yeah.
So, yeah, he asked me all about how that works. And I think it's hard because I think there's other
We got him a library card. We got the book that he was looking for, and
perfect.
All set.
I
So
told him, I
maybe,
was like, you can use the app or you can.
yeah.
I was hard to explain how to use the app via email.
Yeah.
Especially when they're a little bit older and they don't know
right
how that all works.
I've had conversations with him before, and he just wasn't a big library user. So, you know, I think he's getting we're getting another convert. He's getting a little excited about what he can actually be had.
The CW Mars, it's just having the network. It's great because any book you want, even if it's not there, I think that's something that discourages a lot of people with us being small as we are.
That particular item, there were only two copies of it in the entire network.
Oh my goodness.
But they were available, so.
Yeah. No, I think that discourages a lot of people is that it's so small. So if somebody wants to come in and browse, the selection doesn't change as frequently as some of the bigger places. But having the network, I mean, you can get anything you want.
Yeah, I think our first step, just to deal with how we're, with the weather being more of an interruption to our curbside.
Right.
We'll move that operation inside the vestibule.
Yeah.
It's kind of tight quarters there. But if we clear everything that's in there out, then I think we can do it. And it will just be an area where if you're coming to pick up your item, you can come into the library that far. And if you want to come in all the way, once we do that, it'll be, like you would sign in. You would have only 4 people, maybe, if there's 2 staff here, because keep 6 foot distance with more than 6 people, and it would just be very difficult.
Right.
And they would get 15, 20 minutes, whatever, we would have to come up with something. But I wouldn't limit it to just appointment only. I would say during the hours we're open, you come in, you sign in, and we'll have to see how it goes in terms of policing it, making sure people have masks and that there's hand sanitizer available, that they're not touching everything unnecessarily.
That might be good. A small table in the vestibule before they get in with the sanitizer on it.
Yes.
And,
we'll have to figure out how to get it set up. We're going to just, we're working on a way to do it.
Right.
Not, when I mentioned this at the department head meeting, Margaret was saying, okay, but I think there was not a big press by the town for us to be open.
Right.
And, we are doing a lot without the building being open. So, we just want to be safe like everyone else.
Yeah. Are you getting any pushback from your
yes, a few patrons? Yeah, I had at least one patron say that we should be open because everything else is open. But I just reminded that person that I want to be open too, but we have to follow. We're looking at what other libraries are doing as well. So, but it's really, we don't want to be the first people to not follow the protocol and have something go wrong. That wouldn't be good.
I definitely miss browsing the stacks.
Yeah, I think even if you didn't come in to browse, you just came in to pick something up, you still wind up browsing because you see the new books, we have them separated out.
Yep.
People like to see what other people are reading.
Yeah.
So yes, we definitely miss that. Our interaction now is if I just happen to run into someone when I'm taking something out to curbside, and they're standing there and we have a chat like we would, normally have inside the library. So I just want to report on what we're doing in terms of reopening.
Sounds good.
We recently got a donation from Sylvia Wheeler.
Oh,
She passed away recently. I didn't
yeah,
know.
I heard it was very
Yeah, so
sad.
through her family, she sent the library a donation.
That's
She was a
excellent.
regular library user. She would
Yeah,
cruise down here from Pleasant Street in her
yeah,
chair, electric chair,
very,
down the street.
very brave of her.
And I would always offer to bring things to her home, which we did fairly often, but she just wanted to get out, you know.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, I would run into her at the bank and she would wheel up to the, you know, in her chair and take the thing out, put her, you know, paper in there. And
Yeah.
occasionally she'd ask for an assist. She went to the Lowe's. So anyway, we miss her because, you know, she's just a regular patron and get to know her pretty well. So,
Yeah.
And I think that's all I have.
Sounds good.
We
Okay.
did have a CW Mars user council meeting,
Yeah.
and we hadn't actually met for a while, so it was that was a long one.
In depth.
Yeah, there were 3 hours, which too much zooming
Yeah.
for one meeting.
All right. Do you have any questions or comments, Linda, about the director's report?
No, thank you.
All right. I move to approve the director's report as submitted.
I, Linda Yates, second the motion.
All right, a roll call vote to accept it as submitted. Lynette Wheeler, I accept. Linda Yates.
I accept.
Perfect. We will move on to the financial piece.
Okay, well, I don't have much to report. Everything's been pretty standard fare. The one thing in terms of the financials is beginning to prepare, you know, the FY22 budget.
Yeah.
It's always a relief as well to get the state aid reports done.
Yeah.
The financial part of the state aid report, they made some changes to it, and they gave sort of a they gave us a break on how much we had to spend, the percentage of our budget that we had to spend on materials. Because most of us end up spending whatever we need to spend right at the end of the fiscal year, so that we get that proper percentage.
Right, right.
And we always try to, you know, time it out through the 12 months, the spending. But then at the end, if we realize that we haven't spent quite enough, and so that was eliminated both because the town had a budget freeze and because, you know, we couldn't get out and do the spending because, well, first we had no money, but then we didn't have any patrons and the building was closed. So it didn't seem hard to justify spending money on materials at that point.
Right.
So that was a challenge. I'm always happy when it's done so that, you know, are a little bit relieved to just get it done. Do you have any questions about the financials? Linda, have you figured out the spreadsheet? What's going on there?
I think so.
So each month, what you're looking at when you open it is a summary.
Right.
And
so each month is the monthly expenditure for each of those items.
Right.
And yeah, I noticed that there are some that you don't spend every month, you know, you don't spend every month. Right. On certain items.
Yeah, and some of these categories are kind of, you know, morphing into something else. CD-ROMs, you know, they're kind of, the technologies continue to change. So at some point we have to redefine the spending, you know, categories.
Do those categories, are they dictated by the town, or do you decide what the categories are?
No, the town only cares about library's expenses and library wages. Those are two separate things. And, and when you have your expenses, this is just to justify to, you know, the spending, what we're spending on and why. So, I mean, I inherited this spreadsheet and we have made changes in the last 7 years. So it's always a work in progress. If you go to the bottom, there's each month is tabbed out, and you can see the warrants that the bills were paid on there. So you can see exactly which bills were paid that month, and then they total up, you know, in the proper columns.
Yeah,
but if you ever have any questions, Linda, about that, I think Lynette's got a handle on it since she's been here. So
I just had one
question,
and I assume maybe we talked about it and I just don't remember. What the first column is what it's budgeted. There's a big difference for periodicals.
Right. We haven't we get the
majority. Go up that much? Did like is that newspapers or that's everything?
It's all of the different magazine publications we get.
Okay.
Economist, Time Magazine.
Right.
The cooking magazines, People Magazine, all of that. It's also the newspapers. The price of the Worcester Telegram is tripled since I've been here.
That's what I thought. I thought we mentioned it, and I just want to be sure that. I thought we mentioned
$500, and they forced us to get to Sunday, which we never did get. But I feel like we should support local news. We should get at least one local newspaper. You get it online, but local news is important. We get the daily item, the Clinton item, as part of that newspaper. It comes with the Telegram because they're owned by them. But
so Lynette, your question is.
Go ahead, Linda.
I'm sorry. Your question was, it says that you spent $690 in July, but the budget for the whole year was $250. Is that? And so, you know, that seems, did you add periodicals that you hadn't budgeted for? Is that why it's so much more?
The paper went up.
Paper went up, but wait, hang on. You know what? I'm glad you pointed that out because it's under children's periodicals. It should be under adults.
Okay. That makes much more sense.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, thank you for pointing that out. I must have, when I was filling in the warrant into the spreadsheet, I just went down too far and I got children's periodicals, you know, that's a separate category. We don't spend as much on children's periodicals.
Right.
Okay.
And then most of the.
Oh yeah, I see 1,800 up
1,800
under the other one, under the adult materials.
Last year, I think the total was 1,700 total. But
so that 690 should.
We have one vendor that we get 90% of the periodicals from.
Okay.
You know, because otherwise we'd be paying all of these different.
Right.
So they have these vendors that do it, and that's the way libraries operate. So we use one vendor primarily, and there's a lot of discussion. Different libraries. We're not circulating the periodicals right now. Because of COVID, and you know, normally most of the time their usage is from people coming in and just picking up one and reading it. So some libraries have canceled their periodicals temporarily, but we're not looking at doing that right now.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, thank you for pointing that out. That was a good catch.
No problem.
I guess I would have caught it.
I didn't notice that.
I wasn't even noticing that it was under children's either until you said that. And I'm like, oh, that makes so much more sense.
I was looking for it under adult and I was like, where did I put it?
Where is it?
Did you have any other questions or comments, Linda, about the financial report?
No, thank you.
All right. I will move to accept the financial report as amended.
Okay. I, Linda Yates, second it.
All right, a roll call vote to accept it as amended. I, Lynette Wheeler, accept it. Linda Yates.
Accept.
Perfect. So we will be unanimously accepted as amended. And old business, which is just continuous septic replacement update. Do we have a newer update for the septic?
Oh,
Do we have
I
any?
think where we're at right now, I reviewed the bids that came in. There were 2 out of the 7.
Yeah, we talked about that the last time. So there's nothing new has happened since then, because I know
Nothing new.
we were gonna have to put it back out because the 2 bids that came in were incorrect.
Right. The only new item I think we didn't discuss too far was that they are planning to do a new electrical box. And they're planning to do that relatively soon.
Okay.
I keep asking them when, and I'm hoping that they'll do it when we're closed, but I have no word. But that will be something not only, I mean, we have to have it for the septic, right, but it's important because we've had a lot of issues around, say, the air conditioning, for example. So
right.
It's going to be something that the building needs in any case. So that should be a good thing. And the monies that have been requested, the 100,000 originally for the septic, that will be used to pay for that new electrical. That should be happening soon. So that's something new with the septic.
Okay. Sounds good. All right.
I should also mention, we just noticed we started to use the heat again in the building, and it's not really working properly. I did contact Dave Smith. He was here today. He tells me that he thinks it's working fine, but it's not. So we'll probably have to contact Northborough Oil and have them check it out. Just want to mention that. I forgot to mention that earlier.
That's fine. That's good.
Always something.
Okay.
All right. So we will move on then to, well, new business. We basically touched on, the only thing I had in new business was an opening update, and we talked about that with your director's report. So I think we're good. I don't think do we have any other new business? Anything else new happening at our closed library?
Yeah. I don't. And I mean, in terms of, I wouldn't want to be kind of pinned down to a specific date. I think we're just, but I'm imagining that we would probably try to do it sometime around the first of the year, or, when the weather starts to deteriorate. But again, we're still a little bit, leery, just based on what's going on.
Right.
Like everything else, Bob, I think everybody is waiting to see what's it going to be like. What are the numbers? People can't plan too far ahead because you just don't know.
You can't plan anything these days.
No, you can't.
Well,
I think the patrons, it seems some people are not completely aware that they can use the library now, other than coming in the building, they can request books.
Right.
And not everyone knows that, the drop box is there. You can return your books there.
Yeah. Maybe
because we went through stages, even in reopening in terms of doing the curbside, it kind of went in stages because of the shutdown.
Yeah.
And all the material that was just out there.
I think definitely another post on like the Town of Berlin's Facebook page, the library's Facebook page, obviously, and we can share that on our personal pages too, but also maybe see about getting a flyer for the school, because the kids can't go to the library. They're not allowed to go to the library at the school right now. The kids are not taking out books. They're still having library. They're meeting with the librarian. The librarian will come to the classroom and he's reading a story or doing some kind of activity with them. She was trying to do it outside as much as the weather will let her. I don't know if you're both familiar with the elementary school, but right out in front, they have a little island, like when you pull up to the front of the building, it's like a semicircle driveway and there's an island in the middle. That was Library Island when they went back to school, and she did a story walk. So, but basically you take a book and they're on kind of like,
oh, I've seen those.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, those are great.
She asked for anybody's yard signs that they didn't want, and she put a book on it so the kids could walk through Library Island and read the book as they go and have done activities there.
Sarah was planning one, but it fell through. The author that was going to do it. Yeah. So, but
so
it's still a possibility. Yeah.
I think a flyer that could go home in the backpacks that says that we're open, that they can email you or Sarah with requests to get the app. Because, I mean, the kids can't get books at school, so they might want to be able to get books that way.
Yeah.
And it's easy for parents. They can just pull up, run out, grab it, and again, when they return them, just throw them in the drop boxes. So it's like they don't even have to take the kids out of the car to do it.
Right. Yeah.
So, the action item then for this issue that not everybody knows how to access the library is to put a posting on the town of Berlin's Facebook page and the library's Facebook page, and then create a flyer that could go home in the backpacks at the school.
Yeah. Is it on still on the sign out front, or is that an event right now?
It's an event right now.
Okay. So I think maybe in between events too.
Yes.
On the sign out front.
Yeah, I think we just have to keep reiterating what stage of open we are and what people can do. So I've tried our website. We're kind of our own webmasters now. We have a webmaster, but the town website, each department has a password. So we go in and change our information as needed.
Yep.
But it's not as easy to use a site. Some of the things I would like to do with it, I haven't been able to. So for example, if I look at some other libraries' website, you know, they'll have all this information like in bold and red. So it's the first thing you see when you open the page.
Right.
You know, some of those little features, I'm still trying to figure them out. And it just takes time. So I just want to get the information out there, but I do get a general sense that not everyone is aware that what the library's offering, or if we're even open.
Yeah.
So.
Well, like the patron I was talking about, the email literally said, "I need a book. How do I go about getting it?"
How do I do it? Yeah.
You know. Yeah. So, but yeah. So in regards to the flyer, though, is that something like that someone at library staff would do, or is that something one of us should do?
Oh, it's up to you. We could do it. It's more or less just the information we already have out there. We just have to package it into a flyer.
Yeah. So if someone at the library wants to make it in a document, you just got to email it to.
And should we contact someone who contact the principal?
Yeah, I think you could send it to the principal. Which is Jay Campbell at bbrsc.org.
Haven't seen Dave for quite a while, but I've met him.
No, Jay Campbell. John. His name's John.
John Campbell.
Yeah.
Did I say Dave? I'm sorry.
I said Jay Campbell, so I don't know if you thought I said Dave Campbell. I was just telling you his email address is Jay.
Yeah, I knew his name was John Campbell. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Anyway, I know that Sarah has been in touch also with the school librarian.
Yeah. So for any flyers to be approved, they have to go to John. He has to approve.
John first. Okay.
So yeah, you can send it to him.
All right, I'll talk with Sarah about it too. She's in more regular contact with them than I am.
Yeah, no, I think it would be great if she just wants, and if she, wants me to put it together, just tell her to shoot me an email and I can throw something together.
Okay.
I can throw it together and then just email it to Sarah so she can see it, and then Sarah
has something to add.
Send it to the school, so at least it comes from the school versus it coming from me.
All right.
No. Yeah, I think
that's a great idea.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since I've had notices in backpacks. Kind of forgotten about that.
Oh, we have lots of them.
Yeah, I bet.
And maybe, oh, you know what else might be good too? If we can have like maybe a poster at this Halloween fest. I don't know. I just got that. Speaking of flyers and backpacks, my daughter just unloaded her backpack on my bed. So they have not canceled trick-or-treating in Berlin, but they're discouraging it. They don't want people to do it, but they didn't cancel it.
Okay.
So they are offering an alternative. They want families to, you have to reserve a time to go down to the First Parish Church and drop off your already decorated pumpkin or your already made scarecrow. And then the select board is going to judge the pumpkins and scarecrows and pick 3 kids to be a selectman for the day. Yeah. So if we can maybe, I wonder if we can have a sign there, like a poster or something that says that we
actually, Sarah has a few other events, Halloween centric events. Yeah. And we have a little flyer here. I could provide some.
Yeah. But I mean, anything that's going on at the library, like right now, it's kind of hard because you don't want too many people to show up. But,
right, exactly.
When we get back to a more normal,
right,
and you want people to show up,
we want people, just not too many. Yeah.
Yeah, the backpacks are a great option.
Yeah, it's a really good idea.
Good about putting stuff in them. So, but yeah, I would see if we can get some kind of notice or something up at Halloween Fest. I believe it is actually on Halloween from like 12 to 2 or something like that.
When's that? This Saturday?
No, it's on Halloween, the 31st, I believe.
Oh, October 31st. Okay. Okay.
Which paper is it? Just gave me she just came in and just dumped everything out. Oh, I love it.
And the Halloween Fest is going to be at the church?
It's at First Parish. It's outside only.
Outside the First Parish Church.
Out front, yeah. Did you see they put the stairs up?
Yeah, I was wondering what that. I thought they were having services outside.
No, it's for the pumpkins.
Oh, so, okay.
We got this Halloween Fest. October 31st from 12 to 2 at First Parish Church, featuring a scarecrow display. Build your own scarecrow at home and get it down to the center of town for display on Saturday, October 31st between the hours of 10 and 12. So it can be staked, labeled, and displayed. Get creative, 1 scarecrow per household. And then you have to email the recreation department to reserve a spot. And then there's a pumpkin display contest. Enter a school or home decorated pumpkin for a chance to be an honorary select board member for the day. Winners will get to open a select board meeting.
Wow.
Wow.
That's exciting.
That's funny.
That's more excitement than anybody can handle.
It's enticing, right?
Can I get a copy?
Could be.
Lynette, may I get a copy of that?
Of this? Yes. I will just take a picture of it and email it.
Okay, great. Thank you.
But yeah. It's at the top, it says it's from 12 to 2, but then under the scarecrow, it says to drop it off between 10 and 12. So I don't know if you got to drop stuff off between 10 and 12, and then from 12 to 2, families can go back and see everything that's done.
Right.
They want to set up between 10 and 12 and then 12 to 2. But I'm like, you discouraged families from trick-or-treating, and now you want everyone in town to come down between 12 and 2.
A lot of the trick-or-treaters are usually right here in this neighborhood outside the library.
Yeah, there's a big group of them. We did it last year with that group, and there's I think there was 18 kids.
Occasionally they wander over to the library looking for something, and usually we have something, but sometimes we don't.
Yeah, it depends on when we start.
We're not really expecting trick-or-treaters here.
Yeah, no, the other towns that are doing it have way shortened their hours. Like West Boylston is doing it from 3 to 6. Boylston is not doing trick-or-treating, but they're doing drive-by trick-or-treating. So there's 4 locations in the town that the kids can go to from I think the same hours, 3 to 6 or 4 to 6 p.m. You go to the police department, the fire department, the school, and I think it might be the library. You go to 4 different locations, and they're giving out a prepackaged bag of treats to each kid.
Yeah.
And
Nice. That's nice.
When you pull up, you have to tell them how many kids are in the car. They put the treats on the table. They walk away. The kids get out, get the treats, get in the car, and go.
Yeah. All right.
So we have friends in West Boylston, so we're town hopping, and we're going to West Boylston.
There you go.
Yeah. Like in West Boylston, posted it all over their social media, like on their Facebook pages and their Twitters and all of that. And then like some of the comments on it, it's so funny. They're like, well, we know everyone from Worcester's going to show up because Worcester canceled. And Worcester abuts West Boylston. So they're like, we're going to have every kid from Worcester. They're like, everybody go to BJ's.
I'm not sure. I live in Clinton. I'm not sure what they're doing there. But I have 2 grandchildren, and I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't heard what they're doing in Clinton.
We usually do get some trick-or-treaters because our neighborhood's full of children right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. We went through a whole cycle. We had our child, and now it's a whole nother set of children.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, I will take a picture of this flyer and email it to you, so you know what's going on.
Okay.
Do you have any trustee concerns? You have any, Linda?
I do not. Thank you.
All right. You have anything else for us, Bob?
I don't.
All right. I think I'm good too. So, what did I just do with my phone? Just have to open my calendar, sorry. So our next meeting is November 10th. That's not right. All right. And that still works for you, Bob, November 10th?
Yes.
All right.
That'll be back to Tuesday, right? For second Tuesday.
Second Tuesday, yes.
Second Tuesday, yep.
I'll make sure that when I email her, I'll copy and paste properly.
Yeah, that was kind of harsh.
I swear I hit paste. I'm sorry, Margaret.
Okay.
Nothing like, it's like I'm in school being scolded by the teacher.
Yeah, I know.
I did it right. I'm new.
She must go through every single one of them and make sure that everything's
I guess. I mean, hey, she's doing her job real good. So.
Yeah, I know. Well, we want to do it right. So
that's right. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
And if we have nothing else, we'll see you all on November 10th. And I will move to adjourn the meeting.
And I, Linda Yates, second.
All right. A roll call vote to adjourn the meeting. I, Lynette Wheeler, approve adjournment. I don't know. Linda Yates.
I approve.
All right. Meeting is adjourned at 6:21 p.m.